Well, I have good news for some of you and bad news for others, okay? If you think I'm funny, okay, just generally speaking, and you like me to talk for a long period of time, you are in luck because I'm going to talk for a long time and I've got jokes today, dude, okay? But for others who just want a very succinct presentation of information in a very kind of cookie cutter way, this is not going to be that video. And it's unfortunate because I have a lot of very important information to share with people, but I'm in the mood that I'm in. So everybody just buckle right in because we're going to get into the actual like verified details of a bunch of things that people have apparently not known. And then we're also going to look at an incredibly shocking conspiracy accusation by Congress. So settle in. Yeah, for you conspiracy hounds, welcome to your dream scenario. Okay, Congresswoman is saying that China collaborated with the Salt Lake City queer group and other left-wing extremists in order to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Big conspiracy we have to go through. She's a congresswoman, dude. Okay, if the congresswoman says your number one global adversary may have been collaborating with the Salt Lake City queer group. I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of Anna Paulina Luna. I'm making fun of people thinking they're gangster if their name is the Salt Lake City queer group, okay? I'm sorry. You could be holding a bazooka in one hand, like 9 grenades, hanging off a thing in the other. You could have like a knife sticking through both cheeks. And if you're like, here come the Salt Lake City queers, I'm going to be all pussies. You know what I mean? You need to come up with a better name. They don't know that these queers are armed to the teeth and we're going to shoot you. Because leftists are definitely not deranged, violent psychos. Go vote for that guy in Virginia, the attorney general who wants to shoot his opponent's children in the head. You weirdos. Well, good morning, Jesse on Fire. You look spry. Thank you, I do. I appreciate you noticing because we're about to go through the charging documents for Tyler Robinson. Yeah, that ended up not being accurate. I'm going to actually show you guys that in a separate video because while filming this portion of the video related to China and the Salt Lake City queer left-wing terrorists, we went a little bit long, like really long, to the point where we're just going to do 2 videos. But the charging documents, you better look out for that because that is a big video right there. I'm going to hit you with a bombshell right now, right out of the gate. Okay. I'm not going to make you wait. You know the story that we've all been saying about how could he have disassembled the gun and then reassembled the gun once he got down off the roof, whatever. Okay. Mandela effect, could have sworn that I saw that in a mainstream media outlet. There was a quote from FBI or something like that. Like that. I remember seeing that somewhere where that was like the part of the story. Okay. I scoured the internet today and talked to ChatGPT. That was never part of the story. The part that he took apart the gun after the shooting. In the official story, he brought the gun disassembled, assembled it once he was on the roof. Once he shot Charlie Kirk, he put a towel over it, jumped off the roof, and then went and he ditched it in the thing. There was never anything in the official story about him disassembling the firearm afterwards, which obviously solves one of the major issues with the official story. I don't know why the FBI would not come out and tell everybody that. It's like, how many agents work at the FBI? You guys, none of you were aware that the entire internet was operating under the assumption that your official story made absolutely no sense whatsoever. There was one of those ones, remember, that went around and had the scope on backwards. And then obviously in hindsight, some very clever, disinformation person created that image, right? But like the FBI, you couldn't come out and I know you want to address all of the conspiracy theories in that one tweet, Cash Patel's all, don't worry, we're going to investigate all of these things. How about you come and tell us which of the things that we are assuming are real are completely fake and probably actually, put into the circulation by China, Do you think that it's a coincidence that the more TikTok people use, the more likely they are to want to murder Republicans and or want to burn down the infrastructure in the United States? You guys think that's a coincidence? I don't mean to pull the veil down on the Wizard of Oz, that's President Xi over there. But I seem to notice a correlation between, hey, do you use TikTok? Yes, I do. Do you think it would be cool if I died, if you found out that I voted for Trump? They're all, as long as your kids die too. You know what I mean? Come on, dude. So if they're doing that, right, maybe they would actually kill Charlie Kirk also. All right, so we're going to start with this side of the equation in a second, where we're going to learn exactly what Anna Paulina Luna is implying China's involvement in this is, aside from the ongoing, constant, intentional erosion of our social cohesion and the intentional dehumanization of half the country, whether it's us to them or them to us. And, they're driving us towards financial and cultural Armageddon, But aside from that, what their involvement is potentially in murdering a husband and father who they also probably helped convince people was a Nazi. I'm sorry, what did you say? All of those things that I said is what George Soros is doing openly. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that he's doing that on purpose. And he's just walking around in the United States. I didn't know that that was allowed. It's good that you let me know. Thanks for the phone call. Sorry, guys. I guess that's allowed. It's allowed to dehumanize half the country and hope that they kill each other. I didn't know. I had to talk to whoever should have arrested George Soros 30 years ago. Now, we're about to get into the details, and I am actually going to give you the information that we have been referencing here in a second. But first, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, ReadyRx, and I will answer the question. The reason I'm so spry and funny is because of their products. So I've been on NAD Plus for a few months now, and I absolutely love it. I don't know if you guys have heard of NAD Plus, but I heard about it from, I believe, Tony Robbins, and he was talking about using it for brain health and anti-aging. So when ReadyRx approached me about being a sponsor and I found out this is what one of their products was, I was like, yeah, let's do that. Now for the benefits section, I'm going completely off script. I'm going to tell you exactly what NAD Plus does for me. I immediately notice that I connect thoughts faster. I can easily keep track of multiple things, being entertaining, delivering the point that I'm making, and then setting up a point that I'm going to make after that. But most of all, I notice it at jiu-jitsu. Now where I'm at in my jiu-jitsu journey now is I'm at an advanced belt. And so I'm learning very complicated sequences, and I am able to remember the steps, the details, in a very, very noticeably different way. And also my overall energy and motivation is just much better. NAD Plus is a coenzyme found in all living cells that plays a key role in energy production and cellular metabolism. It helps convert nutrients into energy and supports DNA repair, gene expression, and cell signaling. NAD Plus levels decline with age, and supplementation is being studied for potential anti-aging and metabolic health benefits. Now, getting started with ReadyRx was extremely simple. I did a quick online intake, licensed provider reviewed my info, and if it was right for me, it shipped straight from a US licensed pharmacy. No sketchy sources, no nonsense, everything legit and above board. And of course, it was fine for me and I received it very quickly. And the most important thing for why I recommend it is it's consistent. Okay. We're not talking about caffeine highs and crashes. It is consistent across the board. It fits into your training. It fits into my content schedule, and it just overall fits into my life seamlessly. That's why I've been on it for months, and I intend on staying on it permanently. I don't want to go back to being stupid. Now, if you want to try it for yourself, go to ReadyRx and use my code Jesse when you sign up. You'll get a big discount. The consult is quick. The provider decides if it's right for you, and you'll see everything up front before you commit. And again, that's ReadyRx. Use promo code Jesse, Jesse, when you sign up. You are going to be very happy that you did. All right, so let's listen to Anna Paulina Luna, and then we're going to get into the charging documents, which actually is the more probably seriously important part for us to go through. But check this out.
There's been a lot of questions as to whether there was foreign government involvement.
In which one?
In the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right?
Okay.
So, we're going to address these theories right now. Back during the ICE riots, do you remember all of that at the beginning of the year?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were like, where are all of a sudden these big violent riots coming from? Who's funding these organizations? We found out that there was a foreign funding tied to an individual by the name of Neville Singham, who's a multi-billionaire. And he made his billions by working with the communist Chinese government. And he would take, and he's not a registered agent, a foreign agent, which is a FARA violation. So he's taking these millions, funneling it into organizations like the Party of Socialism and Liberation, who then in turn create these very radicalized movements, but they're not even American in theory or funded by American people. They're actually funded by foreign governments. The irony in all this is that Neville Singham, not just to Mandani's election, so like Jews from Mandani, but he actually also has ties to funding the Party of Socialism, the Salt Lake City Queer Group, which is now being investigated with former knowledge on whether or not they knew Charlie would be assassinated, who had ties to the shooter. So I do think that there's a foreign funding tie, but the question is which government, and I think it's tied to the Chinese.
What are you basing that on, though? Because, listen, I want to be clear. I am not saying it is not Chinese. You guys know me, dude. You send me a theory and I'll tell you why I have no idea if it's real or not, But I also have a skeptical mind. And so if people are like, yeah, I do think it is a foreign government and it's definitely not the one you've been thinking of. You're all, well, which one is it? They're all, that one. And you're all, well, why? They're all, because it's not the other one. You're all, okay. Could you tell me how you arrived at that conclusion. She's like, I can't because it's Congress, but I can tell you everything else. I just can't tell you how I know that it's definitely not the other one.
Interesting.
I mean,
what was
like
it called? The queer what?
Salt Lake City queers.
Salt Lake City queers.
They're being investigated.
Did you see that? Like, you could actually feel him shaking in his boots when he said that. He's like, the Salt Lake City. Did you say queers? Oh my God. Why would they name themselves that? Okay. And I say this because if you're unaware of who these people are, like the Salt Lake City, they're like trying to be scary, dude. like they're like, here's us with our AK-47s. This is the queer resistance. We will kill you. I'm like, something tells me that if I just stand in front of you 150 yards away and you get to shoot at me with that thing, I think as long as you got like less than 14 bullets, I'm going to be good, dude. You know, I think I'm going to be good. The armed queers, dude. Nothing like a rainbow to really shake you in your boots. Do you know what I mean?
Investigated by the FBI, but if you look at the organization and where the funding comes from, I mean, not just them, they had ties to groups in Cuba and they are actually calling themselves terrorists. But not just that, they also have ties to the United Nations. So there's this aspect of a very pro-globalist and then a pro-Marxist movement to really sow discord and divide in this country. And that's why
it's because they want to break the United States because they can't control the entire world while the United States has so much power. So they need us to break so they can remake a global government, which they control. Also, all the Marxist stuff is both to undermine the United States so they can break our government and break our economy, but also because AI is going to replace all human labor need. And they know that if they don't find another way to manage the population, they're going to have to go down in those bunker holes because otherwise the population is going to find them in their mansions and eat them for dinner after they've tortured them. Okay. Like, that's why they want to remake the world, is because we have to remake the world. I just want to be clear about that, right? I hate George Soros. He is a terrible, terrible person. I think that I've never seen a single thing, story, anything that is anything other than evil from that guy. But, you know, I never met him. But for the record, we are going to have to remake the way that we like manage society. Okay. Capitalism is a great idea for, you know, a while. And then as soon as all the things that you need done or all the things that you used to get paid to do are done by machines that are owned by gigantic trillionaires, okay, they're going to have lots of money. How are you going to have money? It's like, well, I'm going to be still the funniest motherfucker on YouTube. They're like, well, they can make AI for that. I'm like, there's no fucking way that AI will ever be as funny as me, okay? If that's the case, I mean, Jesus, I can't even imagine how good the sex dolls will be. You know, because it's a lot easier to mimic that than it is to mimic this brilliant cleverness. What? But what are you going to do? They're all, who's you? It's like anyone who's not in the most random niche of all time and happens to have been born with like this weird talent that you have that is something that robots will not specialize in. It's like, oh, they're going to starve to death. They're fucking starve. Okay? They're going to first get depressed because they have no purpose in life. Unless we remake the world, okay? Like, this is the reality. If humans were not such terrible, terrible creatures, this would be the opportunity to actually create a paradise that we could all, just completely reframe everything. If we could get rid of all the suspicion of other people, get rid of all the trauma, all that stuff, and we could all just coexist and, like, live in love, like, we could have everything that we've ever wanted or needed provided. But we can't, because humans are inherently suspicious, inherently greedy. And if we don't know the people very well, when we meet them, what do you think? Do you think like, oh, I'll probably like this person? Well, I guess actually most of the time I do think I'll like these people. But if they look a little bit not like my people, then I'm like, I think I might not like these people. And I think they might steal my silverware. And it's possible they might try to stab my daughter. So I need to have lots of guns in case they do that so I can kill them. And they're like, well, we have lots of guns in case you kill us. And we're like, well, fucking you kill me. Or I mean, like, I'll kill you if you kill me. They're like, well, I'll kill you if you kill me. It's like, well, now I have nuclear weapons. So why don't we just fucking eradicate the whole human race? Because you have base instincts that are fucking absolute destruction that you guys can't get under control. Can you guys all just do ayahuasca together and relax? Is that possible? No, it's not possible, unfortunately. We also need to round up all the pedophiles and kill all of them as the first line of defense. There's no sex with children in the future state, and we need to eradicate that gene. So that's step one for, you know, paradise. Again, this is either going to be like some of my fans is going to be their favorite episode ever. Others will have tuned out. Literally, they would have shut this video off 10 minutes ago.
Recently posted on my social media, I was like, check out the bot farms that actually exist. And when you see all this shit talking on Twitter, make sure you're not arguing with the bot, because that's not like a fake thing. It happens. And so we have to realize that social media is being used to kind of stoke this divide. But in the instance of the shooter, Charlie Kirk was almost like a son to President Trump. Don Jr. will tell you was like his little brother.
Right.
Very close to JD Vance, very close to Kash Patel. So if you think for a second that there will be any amount of resource spared in his investigation, you're wrong. Because I know these people and I've seen the way that this administration has worked towards at least issuing some of the darkest secrets. For example, what happened with CIA and the connection to JFK's assassination. I've met with the director, but to, I think, really take into account that you have the family that is seeing all this stuff out there right now. I hope that they get every single person involved. I definitely think that it's likely that more than one person knew about what was happening.
Yeah. Dude, are you serious, Anna Paulina? I hadn't watched this. Okay, how much have I recorded of this video? I've got 8 minutes of video plus what have I done here? Oh my God, 16 minutes of video. Like, my tone is all wrong. This is actually a really serious video. I didn't even know. Okay. So I can't undo what I've done, but I do think it's important to make the point that I'm going to make right now, which is JD Vance will burn the world down to make sure that Charlie Kirk's killers are brought to justice. Okay. If you don't believe that, I don't have anything for you. And I understand people are inherently not going to believe that because people are inherently do not trust people who have been elected into public office, which is understandable and almost like probably just the correct way to approach things. But JD Vance is a man who is like, you can rest assured that guy is not going to forget. Okay. Like, Charlie Kirk to me is a guy who I watched on a screen and I felt like I knew through like watching his videos. I didn't actually know him. Okay. Like, they were really close friends. Like 3 weeks ago, Charlie was murdered, right? In cold blood. Like, this is still as fresh as it was the first day for people who were like in his life, assuming that Erica Kirk is a human that is not like being worked like, you know, like with a joystick. That's a terrible fucking joke, dude. That's a joke. I feel terrible I even said it. Okay. So JD Vance is going to do what he's going to do to bring him to justice. And I don't care if it's a nation state. I don't care if it's whatever. Like, I agree with her on this. Okay. I really do. I bet you though, if I asked the collective and this video gets over 150,000 views, there will be at least 10 people who would tell me that JD Vance probably had Charlie Kirk killed, because friendship and happiness and love cannot exist in the world for some people. Anyway, continuing on though, let's wrap this thing.
Because the Salt Lake City queer group immediately deleted their page. They're under investigation. There's a foreign funding tie there. For Tyler Robinson to say that Charlie was, you know, hateful and that he just wanted to eliminate his hatefulness, where does that come from, right? Like, if you actually listen to the things that Charlie was saying and you don't clip it, you can realize it was a very logical conversation that he was trying to have. If you don't agree with it, it's still not a reason to murder someone.
Well, the reason that they were unaware of that is because people did clip it, and then they, edited it in a way that was extraordinarily intentionally devious and meant to make him appear that he was saying something that he absolutely was not. My favorite one being when they implied that he was calling someone a chink when he was talking to Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. That's got to be the stupidest racist slander of like accusation of all time, because obviously no one has ever tried to say that the Asians have it hard in this country, because they are the ones who are beating everybody in all the academics. Okay. They're next on the list. Once the crazies have gotten rid of all the, the white, they'll all get these whites back in the RVs. They're pathetic. We hate them. And they're like, well, now that they're all failing, who can we get next? It's all Asians that are just excelling at everything, because it's probably because the country's racist and not because culturally their families make a massive priority on schoolwork and discipline. That's probably more about the fact that the country is inherently racist in favor of Chinese people. You ignorant morons. Okay? I literally can't. Some days they make me mad. Other times I find them the most entertaining and hilarious dumbbells on earth. And this is one of those moments. Like, I'm just endlessly entertained by their just bulletproof logic of all types. Now, speaking of those types of people, let's make fun of some others, okay? So check this out, okay? I just slid this on you, dude. You had no idea you were about to get hit with a knockout AOC blow, dude, okay? So, a knockout AOC blow? You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? It's like, oh, I don't think you are actually putting down anything that is any semblance of a reality, because let's look at AOC's boyfriend, because something tells me that, her partner, of course her partner, you know, and, she didn't take his last name. Who would have guessed? He's like, honey, this is, oh man, dude, they should not have put this in front of me today. This conversation right here is all, honey, I understand that it's your body and your choice, but like, if I did have needs once a month, how would you prefer that I went about requesting access to your body? She's like, you disgusting. You've been hanging out with those MAGA guys too much. He's like, what? She's like, you are objectifying me. He's like, I literally asked how you would like to be asked if I wanted to touch you once a month. She's all, I'm not sure I can even do this with you anymore. Okay? I can't do this. You are toxically masculine, and I will never make you feel like a man ever again. Go in your closet and you relieve yourself. That always helps. Oh man. It's funny because I call myself funny, but in reality, I realize like there's people who completely do not think I'm funny at all, but I think I'm fucking hilarious. And I mean that genuinely. Like I watch, like, and not like a fucking egotistical way. I just genuinely watch my own stuff back and laugh hysterically at my own jokes. You know, it might mean that I have some kind of like mental problem because I can simultaneously be saying a thing and observing the thing at the same time. What do you think that means? It means you are crazy, but not crazy enough to date a woke weirdo congresswoman who would never, ever, 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 ever willingly have sex with me unless I played a very dirty game of I'm taking my love away from you. That sounds exhausting. Okay. That sounds exhausting. You know, it also feels gross to get it that way. You know, it's like, I really had to manipulate you like that. I had to convince you that I was no longer going to be in your life in order for you to willingly, you know, put a little effort into it. I mean, Jesus, is that feminism? You know, is that feminism? And every once in a while, like once a year when you had a couple drinks, y'all, I think tonight's the night. It's like, oh, yay. And then you're like, I don't know, man. Thinking about AOC's sex life for some reason is actually fucking hilarious, dude. Well, what's your sex life, Jesse on Fire? I don't remember. I just forgot. Let's change the subject. That was going to be a fucked up joke, too. Anyway, let's listen to AOC's brilliant take here because, listen, you know, when I go to people for advice, I like them to be from Brooklyn.
And grasping at straws because they have nothing else. Laugh at them. Stephen Miller is a clown. I've never seen that guy in real life, but he looks like he's like 4'10", and he looks like he is angry.
He might be 4'10", and he might be scrawny, and he might be untrained, and your boyfriend might be 7'1", but I am not sure he could beat Stephen Miller in a fight because you have broken him down. Don't be toxically masculine. He's all, you're right. I don't want to ever think about having to be violent to protect you. She's all, protect me from what? I'm a congresswoman. Everyone knows I can destroy their fucking life just like I could destroy yours. Okay? If I wasn't your wife, what the fuck would you be? He's like, happy. She's like, what? He's like, no, I'm sorry. Nothing. He's like, I'd probably be on testosterone replacement therapy in a jiu-jitsu class having sex with a girl I met on Tinder tonight. And while that sounds kind of disgusting and gross to Jesse on Fire because he's married to his dream girl, I would imagine in comparison to being sexually rejected every time he tried for 5 straight years, it sounds like Xanadu, you know?
About the fact that he's 4'10". And he looks like he is so mad that he is 4'10", that he's taking that anger out at any other population possible.
Let me see what Stephen Miller looks like and see if I agree. Because listen, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, guys. I am an equal opportunity teaser, dude. I will yes, you're right. He does look like, he doesn't look 4'10", but he looks 5'4". He does look 5'4". She's actually right, dude. He actually does look 5'4", dude. She's right. And he does look at this fucking guy's face, dude. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I know there are some people who might feel like this is some kind of betrayal that I validated that AOC said something mean about someone, and I looked, I'm like, oh yeah, he does look short and he does look angry. But listen, dude, I'm like, you guys should respect my integrity that I will tease anyone, okay? I won't tease Trump, dude, because Trump doesn't look like a little angry or a little crybaby ass little pussy like Stephen Miller does in this picture, you know? Look at him. He looks like an angsty little teenager. AOC is much worse, though, for the record. But I bet her and Stephen Miller have a similar amount of consensual sex. You know what I mean? With definitely not each other.
Like, laugh at them. Laugh at them. Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, we're here to be strong for one another. We need to expose the lies. We need to never let off the gas when it comes to protecting one another, exposing the lies, documenting things. We're seeing this too, right?
Okay, here, I got another scenario for you, dude. Like, let's say AOC was not like a congresswoman and you were single in some major city and you were exactly who you are, but you're single and you got on like whatever, a dating app, and you end up meeting her at the front of the restaurant, you know, and you're like, oh shit, like, what's up? Hey, I'm Jesse. Hi, I'm Alexandria. You're all, that's a fancy name. Look at you. Probably get a laugh out of her early on and you're like, this is starting off very well. And then I picture sitting down at a 2-person table, and the second that you move from what kind of soup are you going to have into any other conversation, you get this raving lunatic who literally cannot stop screaming about politics. And the whole time your dick is just going like this, like, and by the end of her rant, you're all, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like, you started off like, God damn, I might want to put a little hit down on this little minx. And by the end of the first rant, you're like, I am going to go take myself to the bathroom and run away. And hopefully she does not ever know my name, because she seems like the kind of person who would key my car and then try to sabotage my career and say that I tried to rape her, when in reality I sat at a table with her for enough time to find out that she's a psychotic woke lunatic.
So I think I think it's very important to be able to hold multiple things at once. And we've seen this work in other cultures. Oh,
she tipped her hand, dude. See? I should have thought about that, actually, when it comes to this dude. You know, she said, you need to be able to manage multiple things at once. She's all, look, Riley, okay, I would give you what you need, but I'm tired, okay? I have to have sex with all 3 of you little pussies, okay? Okay? Do you have a vagina that hurts after you have to pleasure you little needy little weirdos? And there's like 2 other versions of him in the house that are both just like, Mom, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All of them are competing for like the 1% love she gives a month. And they're just broken. All of them just broken down, skinny. They start working out. Why are you working out? What are you doing? What are you trying to be, MAGA? Okay. No one wants to see you have muscles. Okay. Jiu-jitsu, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? What are you trying to go do? You trying to become Sylvester Stallone? Okay, it's not 1980s, okay? You are an evolved man. That's why I'm together with you, okay? You're an evolved man. Okay? Now, I am going to go to a very important dinner meeting with people who are better than you, and I just want to make sure that you understand that, and I want you home and I want you sad, okay? So, I expect that from you. If you still want to be Mr. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She doesn't seem very generous in the relationship, but she also might only be visible to me when she is angry and ranting. She might be wonderful other times, you know, but I think I'm probably right about, you know, like how she handles his sexual advances, you know. Don't be too aggressive, dude. Don't tell her that you are her partner and you have needs of your own, because that would basically be Harvey Weinstein to her.
We've seen this work in other countries. Yes, the resistance to authoritarianism is very real. The risks of abuse of power are very real.
Oh, the risks of abuse of power are very real? That's interesting that she would bring that up today. Let's see how the Virginia AG race is going. So, Jay Jones, is he still running after he was exposed having wished for the death of his political opponent's children and then doubled and tripled down on that? Or saying he would shoot the House Speaker in the head with 2 bullets and then again doubled and tripled down on it, and then said that they were evil and they were raising little fascists, and so he'd be happy if they were dead? Is that the same guy? And he's going to be the attorney general in his state. I assume all the Democrats who had endorsed him pulled their endorsements though, right? Like, you guys pulled your endorsements, right? Because you guys stand on principles, right? You guys pulled your fucking endorsements, right? Like, that's just common sense. Of course, you can't have somebody who would say a thing like that in the top law enforcement position in a very important state like Virginia, right? Impossible. So you guys pulled your endorsements, right? Oh, not one of you? None of you pulled your endorsements, and you told yourself because it's so important because Trump's in office that, you can't afford to have blah, blah, blah because the social fabric's at risk. You're all, the guy said he wants to kill people's children. But you think because he's not MAGA, he's a better option? Do you understand how diluted your viewpoint is? You are fucking crazy. All of you. You have no credibility left. Anyone who is still riding with the Democratic Party, if you read that story and realize no Democrats pulled their support from that guy, okay? That's all you should need to know. Like, honest to God, like if I hated Trump more than anything, if I was a Trump derangement syndrome lunatic, this story, I would be like, all right, maybe I would just be like, I'm out. I can't play anymore. But there's no scenario where I would look at that story and justify that person still being in the running for office of any kind under any circumstances. But that is because I understand humans and I know exactly what he's going to do if he wins, which is probably going to lead to actual potential flashpoints that could lead to civil war. Okay. Like, I've never said that word. I've never said those words before. And I certainly do not say things like that lightly, even though I'm making jokes today about AOC sex life. Now I'm being serious. Okay. You want to know how a civil war starts? Is you put someone like that into a top law enforcement position and they start treating voters of the other side who he literally says he wants the children dead. So what do you think he thinks of you if you voted for the other side? And he starts burying them in prison, starts framing people, okay, starts destroying business projects. That level of power in the hands of someone like that is, it's terrifying. And until the people are pushed into a corner and then, someone decides, like, I'm pretty sure that country is going to be better off if this guy is not around, and then they you know what I mean? And they might openly do it and say, like, you forced our hand. Soon as anyone openly takes credit for a political assassination with a group of people and they're like, they forced our hand, that is the rap that everyone can't seem to be able to envision. Okay. I couldn't envision it right until I saw that guy. Right. As soon as I read that story and realized the Democrats did not pull their support, I'm like, okay, this could actually happen. And if someone asked me that very tough question, what's more likely, civil war or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez willingly giving a little bit of self-service to her partner anytime soon, I would say probably civil war is more likely because she doesn't respect him and she makes him not be a man, and she can't figure out why she's not sexually attracted to him anymore. She's all, just be a modern man. But God, I don't know what it is. I just never feel like having sex with this little pussy.
But one of the most powerful cultural things that you can do to a political movement that is predicated on the puffery of insecure masculinity. That's what this is about. This isn't, people talk about toxic masculinity more than, it's like, let's put that to the side for just 1 second. This is about insecure masculinity.
Can you give us an example, AOC? Why don't you use me as an example? Do I seem like an insecure masculine man? I am, okay? I'm terrified that you might pull my card and you might find out that I too am a partner of a self-important Dominican or Puerto Rican or whatever who, holds sex over my head like a weapon and broke me down systematically over years. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what my life is. I love my wife. We fuck all the time. I am very happy about my life. Also, Maybe I'm a bad example. So who were you referencing exactly? What is the insecure masculinity you are referencing? Are you talking about the people that were in the Gillette commercial that were made up, fabricated people? I mean, there are some insecure masculine people, but like, I don't know if you've ever met them except in your comment section when they told you whatever. Oh my God, listen to this. Hey, while MAGA's fragile egos crumble under a good laugh, Republicans cling to their clown car of lies like it's the last lifeboat on the Titanic of irrelevance. That is some poetry. Wow. Insulting people has never sounded so well structured. I'm impressed. Richard Angwin, you fucking... Dude, that was like a thing that he commented and put it through ChatGPT's. I'll make it sound like Shakespeare wrote it, except in 2025. And this is what came out. He's all unbelievable. MAGA's fragile egos crumble under a good laugh. That is like a chef's kiss right there. You fucking nerd. Okay. This dude's wife doesn't bang him yet either. She's married to a white man with red hair. Better back the fuck up, nerd girl. Okay. Better back up. What's wrong with white dudes with red hair? You think I have a small peepee? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? I'll show you that I don't. I'm not insecure. I'll show you that I'll show you it's big. Oh, ew. Jeez. That's disrespectful. That's a congresswoman. I am not going to show that. AOC has a meltdown when she finds Trump's new ICE agent hotline at the soda fountain. What? Oh my God. That's not that funny, dude. Press for ICE. Come on, Chip Dome. Owning guns is not a right. If it were a right, it would be in the Constitution. She did not say that. Man, these people, everybody's so serious, you know? Terrorist sympathizers need to be removed from our government. I'm like, yeah, either that or just tell Ilhan Omar, it's like, you need to dress like a normal person. What do you mean? I'm like, you're dressing like someone from Somalia, you know? Like, it's fine, like, you know, but you've been here for a while. Like, why don't you go to Nordstrom's, pick up a fucking pantsuit and like let people see what your hair looks like, you know? That's so racist, Jesse on Fire. No, it's not. You know she doesn't look American. She's in Congress, dude. If you want to be in Congress, you need to look more like Hillary Clinton. Oh, man. If someone wants to start clipping me, dude, I'm fucked. Actually, no, I'm not. I will laugh my fucking ass off. People can clip me all day long. I'll be like, yeah, I said that. I did say that. I said she doesn't look American. And I said she needs to look more like Hillary Clinton. And the implication absolutely was be more like a total square WASP white chick from the East Coast. But I do know that Hillary Clinton is, in fact, maybe not from Arkansas. But either way, you know, someone who scares me a hell of a lot more than Ilhan Omar or being called racist, okay? Hillary Clinton will fucking kill you. I'm like, hey, if I was married to her, I'm like, Hillary, do you think that we could do it this month? She's like, what do you think? I'm like, fuck no, forget I asked, dude. Forget I asked. She's all, you fucking goddamn right, forget you asked. I saw the way you looked at that waitress, dude. Hey, why don't you go do it with that waitress? Go ahead. It's fine. No, it's fine with me. Go ahead. Go ahead. I've got stuff going on anyway. Go back and go talk to that waitress. Wait, do you really want me to? What do you want me to do here? What do you want to do? I just want to go into the car and wait until you're done eating. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Remember this guy? Hello. I was appointed to the government by Joe Biden, and it was really surprising to find out that I was a weirdo who stole baggage from the fucking airport and then dressed up like a girl while shaving my head and clearly being a man and most likely asexual my entire life, hopefully, you know. Listen, if you needed to be entertained this morning, if you're still watching now, I'm just going now because it's like, the only way that anybody would still be watching this is if they think I'm fucking hilarious. And anybody with like an even moderately different sense of humor is long gone. But I don't like these, dude. This is dumb. This is just mean. There's way funnier ways to make fun of AOC, like the way I'm doing it right now because it's fucking true and you know it. You know what I mean? That's why it's funny. It's because you know that what I am saying is true, okay? I think that the sex life between AOC and her partner is not really driven by that hot, fiery passion that Puerto Ricans are known for, because she literally strangled it out of him, okay? And she tells her friends, this is what's the funniest part about it is, and I'm being totally serious about this while simultaneously joking. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm serious about this, is I guarantee that she has said the words to her friends more than once in the last year. That like, sometimes don't you just want them to just like grab it and just like take it from you? You know what I mean? Like, didn't you just kind of miss that? And it's like, how often are you thinking about that? Because I think what you just described is what the dynamic is like, as long as society has not turned you ladies into power-hungry lunatics who think that you are supposed to play a role that you're not supposed to play, and you should be a lot less comfortable in your relationship when you punk your dude and withhold sex. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? What would you do if he just took it from you? Like, seriously, what would you do if after what you've done to him, he just came up and took it, dude? Okay? It would be the most awkward thing ever. That's your fault. Okay? Feminism. Bye-bye. Don't worry, though, guys. We are going to finish the rest of this video after we talk about the charging documents that Tyler Robinson has that I referenced earlier in a subsequent video that you will see later today, most likely. So if you need more AOC, you're going to get it.